Hey YouTube, in this video I'm going to show you my little, not a kiln setup. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't have a kiln yet to dry wood. I was about to use some lumber that I milled up the other day and use my little moisture meter to check the content because I hadn't done that in the past. And there was some of it that was way ahead, like 20%. And so I decided, hey, let me see if I can figure out a way to dry this because I've got the materials to build a kiln. For the most part, I just haven't had the time, and I don't want to move it because I'm about to move where I'm working some stuff, and so I want to just wait. So in the meantime, I want to show you the way that I am drying lumber. So here, check this out. All right, so here's my setup, and I showed you this a little bit before, but in essence, this is just an attic. It's an air-conditioned space, and I've got this wood. It's been drying for, I want to say 2 weeks, and you can look down and see where it's been kind of compromised, where there's a big bow on that board. That one's got dive in the middle of it. But most of this wood was pretty solid anyway. I chose most of it because it was kind of a corner sawn variety or rift sawn. Rift sawn is really what I prefer. But in essence, here's my little setup, and this is about as simple as it could get. I've got a fan. And mind you, it's not, I mean, this thing is just, it's worse than a box fan. There's not much going on there. I got a fan. I've just stacked wood and tried to leave airspace between it, so it's not so good. And then I've got my little meter here. This is just a little cheap meter. And it's pretty cool today. I know that this for a fact has got above 120, 130. And the humidity is really high. Obviously, this is not like an air-conditioned space. And so what I'm about to do is probably move this into a conditioned space where the humidity is lower and just kind of let it do whatever it's going to do. But anyway, I've got a moisture meter. This is a little Chinese variety. It doesn't have a lot of settings, but the setting B, according to the manual, of course you can't see that, is made for hardwoods, made for oak. But when I set some of this up here, all of it was not below 10%. You know, about 10% rift sawn, quarter sawn. I've had pretty good results. But all of it was pretty high. And, you know, it's hard to do this. Let me see if I can. It all says about low from what I see. It's been here for 2 weeks, a little less. Doing terrible with my camera work here. So that's the side. When you get into the side of it, I think this board right here, it still says low. Find another spot. Hold on. I had some of it that was had a little higher content. Yeah, there we go. 8.7. You know, I'm still building with that. Some people wouldn't, but given what it is, what's that one say? Low. I think this guy right here, hold on. Trying not to make a lot of edits, so bear with me. This one was the worst. I want to say this was like, yeah, that's a little higher. This one might need a little bit more time up here. But this guy was like 20-something%. I was like, whoa, we're not doing that. And it's got a knot in the middle of it. This isn't a great cut, but I figured I could probably cut the knot out of it. You can see it's got a huge bow where that was. Anyway, short video. Just wanted to show you something. I don't have a solar kiln yet, but this attic, it's at my church, and it has windows, and it gets crazy hot up here. So I thought, you know, I've had pretty good success with just using air-dried lumber as long as it's rift sawn, quarter sawn. That's the thing. It can't just be willy-nilly whatever, because if you have a bunch of burl in it, I mean, look at that. That's crazy. Even this stuff right here. It's got knots in it. If it's plain sawn, it's not going to hold up as well. But what I found is that stuff that's been air dried, if it's the right cut, it's pretty solid. And the stuff that's not been, like I said, if it's above 10%, I wouldn't suggest trying to build cabinets like I've been building out of it. But this seems to be a pretty good way. It's a dry lumber that's a little better than air dried. Is it going to kill insects? Probably not, but I'll deal with that another way, and I'll show you that later. But anyway, here's my thing. Here's my latest scheme. I just wanted to show you kind of what I got going on. Maybe that's helpful to somebody else that doesn't have a solar kiln yet. This is kind of the next best thing as far as I know.